Welcome to the FHS podcast. I'm Jennifer Pettinger-Haines, and I have a very special guest with me today. Winnie, would you like to introduce yourself and Dorsett Hospitality?
Yes, thank you, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everyone. Really, it's my honor to be here, and I'm looking forward to see everyone in Riyadh. Dorsett, I'm a CEO of Dorsett Hospitality International. I am from Hong Kong. We're a portfolio of hotels. So we currently have 64 hotels under our portfolio. Dorsett Hospitality International is a fully integrated hotel company, which means that we're owners of hotels, we're developer, as well as managers of hotels. So we really, cross the whole spectrum. And in terms of brand, Dorsett is our main brand. It is the four-star flagship of the company. We have Dao, most recently our new brand. It's a service residence concept, and we feel that that will make the most suitable in our Middle East journey. And we also have our three-star, which is Silka, in the hotel portfolio.
So you've got quite a diverse range of products there, as you mentioned, your integrated hospitality company. So you understand the owner's perspective as well as the operator's perspective, which is great. And we're delighted to have you for the first time with us in Riyadh. And I know that your session in Riyadh will be focused on the return of the Chinese tourists. So could you share a little bit more about the impact that you think the return of the Chinese traveler is having on hospitality globally?
I mean, it's been extraordinary. In Hong Kong, we really see the first wave of Chinese tourists coming back in the most recent month. It's almost like a revenge traveling. You see a lot of the only kickback. I mean, the only kind of restriction is, of course, the flight is not there yet. But apart from that, really, when they come, they're much more high yield in terms of their spending. The average length of stay is higher. But to capture the Chinese tourists, there's definitely a few things that you do have to do in terms of the setup of the hotel. Definitely in distribution, the Chinese tourists actually, in terms of booking engine, and it's a little bit different from the kind of different OTAs. I think distribution is one to note, as well as also payment gateway. Payment gateway again is another one that to note. If you want to capture the Chinese tourists, being in Hong Kong and having operation in China, of course, it's been very beneficial for the group in understanding kind of the consumer behavior. Because although COVID is it's behind us, but the last 3 years, it's really a few things that has happened. It's definitely accelerated technology and the adoption of technology through different age range amongst all, not just Chinese tourists, but globally. I don't know whether Jennifer, you feel the same way, yeah.
I know, I think absolutely. I think the change since COVID has been quite phenomenal. Someone described it to me as a tsunami of change that had happened in the hospitality industry. But just going back to what you were mentioning regarding the Chinese traveler, I imagine that you guys are very well set up for that in terms of catering to their needs. And you mentioned the payment gateways, the search engines. I imagine Dorsett is very well set up to cater to the needs of the Chinese traveler, both in booking and then on site as well.
Yes, absolutely. So as you say, for guests, it's really prior their arrival is really already catering their needs. So having this WeChat mini programs is important. Really kind of answering the questions they have, and just basically communicating with them, and especially to places that they're unfamiliar, and the language. It's important if you have that they have that comfort. So as we mentioned about distribution, which is kind of the booking methodology, and of course on site as well, we do have a lot of Chinese colleagues within our company, and that can communicate and cater to their needs, literally from the breakfast offering to just different habits, like we always like to drink hot water, having kettle in the room. It's just all this kind of different details.
Little details.
Yes, the little details, yeah.
And so, Winnie, you mentioned that you've recently launched the Dow brand. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I believe it's focused around sustainability, the brand.
Yes. So Dao is our fully sustainable brand. It's really more like a service apartment. And we feel that it's absolutely very suitable for our growth in the Middle East, just because there's much more transient business, and a lot of there are so many new projects coming up in the Middle East, and a lot of people are actually going for time that is longer than kind of a few days, and it's great to have your own cooking facility and all that, and most importantly is that the style brand is created now, and it's really very much we embrace sustainability as a whole, in terms of every way. We do have solar panel within the hotel to generate electricity. All our amenities are biodegradable, and very much in the whole ecosystem of sustainability. And we have eco tours to allow, because it's more long stay, really allowing our guests to join us together in kind of the eco as well as sustainability journey of that city. I think it's important, and just doing it yourself as well. Again, in terms of our food offering, Jennifer, I know you are a foodie. We work very much with plant-based. Our restaurants in Dow is over 50% plant-based, and so a lot of food technology, sustainability. These are all what Dow
So
is
that's really
about.
interesting because technology does seem to be playing a really crucial role in terms of sustainability within hotels. Are you finding that it's more and more important, particularly with this
Yes,
brand?
yes. I mean, both in operation, because we all know that it's not easy to find people at the moment, and since COVID, it seems like everyone has changed industry. So it's not easy to find operation colleagues. So at the moment, especially for bigger properties, we are using AI cleaning robots. We are using technology whereby we clean measuring the germs level instead of in the old days. Especially, I think these are important. It's not just for hotels, but also for MICE venues, because it really depends. And unlike sending someone to clean the bathroom like 5 times a day, it's really based on volume, based on how often it's used, the peak hours, non-peak hours. So a lot of monitor and very much data driven. And in terms of now our operation as well, we really use a lot of AI data in delivering a very better service. Yes.
And have you developed those systems yourself, or are you working with third parties, external
We
parties?
do use we do use third party. We are well, I mean, another arm of our company is that we do investment. So I also chair our family office. So I'm head of investment of our family office, and and I also sit on the investment committee of Alibaba Fund, Gobi Fund, and another VC fund which I am a GP of, actually with Lenovo, private equity arm. So again, with these, it gives me kind of an overall view on what's the developing and how it can be applied to our industry. So that way, it's been very helpful. And a lot of times, my passion is really for startup, because I just believe in youth, and giving the same opportunity that I had when I was young, to more people, and hence I've been very involved in university and whatnot, and it comes very naturally and hand in hand. So a lot of times we do, as a hotel company, we test a lot of products. We work with a lot of founders and VC, and test pilot their projects, and so it's a great learning. And because of this, we've actually managed to develop a product, and we've managed to showcase a lot of our portfolio companies as well.
That's amazing. So you have kind of a testing ground within your hotel
Yes,
company for all these VCs
yes.
that are coming through. So you guys must be on the cutting edge in terms of hospitality technology, it sounds like.
Yeah, we definitely early adopters of that. And again, Jennifer, one thing about our group is that we are fully integrated, which means majority of our hotels, of the 64 hotels, we do own the asset. So in terms of adoption and all that, it is faster than just say a management company.
I'm really keen to find out a bit more about what role F&B plays within Dorsett Hospitality. Obviously, I'm very biased towards that side because I'm founder of the Global Restaurant Investment Forum,
Yeah.
and I believe you are a restaurateur yourself. So I
Mm,
imagine you bring that philosophy of being kind of food focused through into
yeah.
Dorsett as well.
So for us, Jennifer, it's just very simple. Whether you're we see ourselves as kind of a real estate, right? So, but be it it's inside a hotel or outside of a hotel, at the end of the day, the food offerings just got to be dynamic, and it's just got to be really a kind of a introduction. I think food is really an introduction to a culture. So
Absolutely.
having the Chinese and Asian food is important, but also allowing Chinese tourists when they go overseas to explore
Mhm.
the different foods of the region is equally important. And I think Jennifer, we earlier spoke about it. Food, like art and culture, my other passion, is the most important, and it is the easiest way for someone to understand each other's culture. So like myself, I love food from Riyadh, and like one of my favorite dish is called jarish, and
Amazing.
it's really again, I find so much similarity because it tastes very much like the Chinese porridge. Where we have for breakfast. So again, the amount of conversations that you can really have on the table really will help on the hospitality. So definitely, Jennifer, I think it's amazing what you're doing in the food scene.
Thank you. And well, I think it's because you were recently in Riyadh, and so
Hmm.
you got to experience, I think it was the first time for 8 years. So you obviously got to experience Riyadh now as opposed to how it was 8 years ago. Can
Yes.
you tell us a bit about your thoughts and the shift and the change?
I mean, I'm a big fan of MBS, and really the last visit to my recent visit, it's huge change. Especially Jennifer, me and you are a woman. I really feel there's a huge difference. When I first went 8 years ago, it's pretty much even when we have meetings, a lot of times there will be a partition in between. And my most recent trip, my both my tour guide as well as my driver, they're both ladies. And I noticed that even in the ministries, there are a lot of female, and they are very well educated, and they speak very well. And in fact, I've had a very good impression. And most importantly, is the adoption because. I think with the 27-year-old average age in
It's,
Riyadh,
yeah, very young.
it's just like this. I mean, you get adopted new things, and it's just beyond the expectation. I think seeing like I mean, just reading it on newspaper and seeing it myself is completely different, and I'm like blown away.
I know. I think it really is so incredible, the change, and I think that especially in the food scene, there's
Yeah,
now. I mean, when I first went to Riyadh, there were two kind of fine dining restaurants, and now you're just absolutely spoiled for choice.
yes.
And I think one of the things we were talking about before, as you touched on briefly, was the fact that the Ministry of Culture has been really pushing food as a way to for people to experience the Saudi culture.
Hmm.
I mean, what are your thoughts about concepts from Saudi going out into other parts of the world?
I think in terms of timing, it's right. I was invited by Ministry of Tourism to Diriyah, to one of I think the restaurant is called Takia, and it's a female lady owner as well. And in terms of the food itself, it used to be more mom and pop. When I first go, it's really yummy, but it's more home cooked. But at the moment, it's really kind of a whole culinary experience. You can use these words, and it's and from presentation, from taste, it's really ready to go international. So I do think that the ministries are very extremely clever in thinking of exporting this as a way to get people to understand the culture, and then eventually visit the kingdom. Yes.
I think you're absolutely right. And I hope you'll be joining us on the 9th. We're doing actually a GCC focused concepts tour of Doria Gate
Oh,
with
great.
two other female led, female owned concepts, Alto Piano, as well as Villa Mama. And also we'll be experiencing Maze, which is a Saudi, well, they're calling it the first Saudi fine dining experience.
Oh,
So,
excellent.
yeah, so there's
Looking
lots
forward.
happening on that front. Well, we're very much looking forward to having you in Riyadh, Winnie. Thank you for chatting with me. And I hope that we will be able to continue the conversation on site at FHS.
Thank you, Jennifer. Likewise. And I'm looking forward to see all of you at FHS. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Future Hospitality Summit podcast. For more information, visit www.futurehospitalitysummit.com.